everyone, welcome to episode 12 of Can I Do It Better with Ajax, the Champions League edition. So it's crunch time in the European Champions League group stage. If you've followed this series at all, you'll know that the only thing that we're interested in is trying to better the results in the Champions League of Ajax in the 2018-19 season, and they got to the semi-finals. We were drawn in a very, very tough group in terms of our Champions League group, with Inter Milan, PSG and Schalke along with ourselves in the group, and so you can see that it's not been plain sailing at all. We currently sit third, behind PSG on goal difference and 4 points behind Inter Milan, who have already qualified from the group. And it's Inter Milan that we play today while PSG play Schalke. So you can see one game left, and it's a straight shootout between ourselves and PSG, and we have to better the result of PSG. It's that simple. If we equal the result, then they will go through on goal difference. So we have to better the result of PSG for us to go through. If we go through, then next episode will of course be the first knockout stage game, and we'll continue our journey through the Champions League knockout stages. But if we go out of this particular group today because we don't get a decent result compared to PSG, then this series will come to an end, and I will categorically be able to say that no, I cannot do it better than Ajax did in the 2018-19 season in the Champions League. Excuse me. You can, if you remember rightly, they finished in the semi-final spots in the Champions League in terms of their real performance. And for this particular save, for us to go out in the group stages before the knockout stages would be unfortunate and a bit disappointing. But I think it's fair to say that we were drawn in a very, very hard group. And I think we've done okay, but I think only now are we beginning to find our form in terms of our league form even. And I think if we were to start the group now, we'd stand a much better chance. The team is playing much better than they did at the beginning of the season. But there we go. That's not the way it works. We were dealt the cards we were dealt. We tried to go through the group. We've got one last effort, one last attempt to get out of this particular group and go into the knockout stages. So we play Inter Milan. And so let's get to see the team for today's game. The team is Onana in goal and Christensen at right back, Tagliafico at left back, Magellan and De Ligt in central defence, De Jong and Van der Beek in central midfield. Ekkelenkamp is the attacking midfielder because Labyad is out injured. Ziyech on the right, Tadic on the left and Dolberg up top, with a sub-bench of Sanchez, Mazraoui, Reguilon, Alena, Cerny, Neres and Huntelaar. Everybody's fit and healthy other than Labyad, who unfortunately is out for today. It's definitely unfortunate. He's quite key for us, but you can see he's tying with Tadic for the most assists of our save so far. So he'll be a miss, but Ekkelenkamp has come in for that. That's what we can do, so that's what we're going to do. And we've got one last chance. So can we put a good performance up against a very strong Inter Milan side? We're at home, which helps. But let's get into today's game and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, I've suggested to them assertively that they should be expected to pick up where they left off and continue our recent good form. It didn't get much of a response from the team, if I'm honest, but at least nobody's disheartened by it or anything. So yes, here we go, folks, into the game. Ajax at home against Inter Milan from Italy. So yeah, the home form has been good. The home advantage should help us a little bit, but can we actually get a positive result against the group leaders and keep our Champions League performance going for this current save? The problem we've got, of course, is that even if we get a decent result here, it doesn't mean we'll go through, because if PSG equal our result and get a decent result in their game against Schalke, then they'll probably still go through on goal difference. So it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in that position. But whoa, what a brilliant start that was. Ekkelenkamp, the guy who's come in from Labyad. Sorry, my puppy is whining at me all of a sudden, and I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, Labyad goes out injured. The person in for him is Ekkelenkamp, and he gets the opportunity at close range, just on the corner of the 6-yard box, to poke the ball home, and we take a 1-0 lead after 14 minutes of the game. Brilliant start for us. A very unexpected start. And Inter Milan look a bit shell-shocked and a bit anxious and disinterested after all of that. They've already qualified, of course, so you know their motivation won't be the same as ours. But a brilliant start nonetheless. 35 minutes in now, and nothing much else has happened. You can see that we're dominating in terms of shots, which is positive. But now Inter Milan come at us down their right-hand side, but they switch the play over to the left-hand side. Well, what can you say about that? Delbert on the left-hand side, whoever Delbert is not a name I'm particularly familiar with, I must say, but whoever he is, had the opportunity to accept the ball from a long raking crossfield pass, picks it up onto his left foot, cuts past the defender and takes an early shot into the far corner, which surprised the goalkeeper, and ultimately Inter Milan have pulled one back, and at half-time it looks like we're going to go in at half-time roughly at one apiece, and that's disappointing considering that we seem to have dominated the opportunities in this half. But one more chance maybe, Ziyech at the near post, but a good hand by the goalkeeper and keeps it out. Handanovic, really positive goalkeeping then, and we go in at half-time it looks like at 1-1. Very disappointing to have lost that goal in the manner that we did. There was no pressure on the ball, and ultimately he had an easy opportunity but took it very well. Dalbert, whoever that is, it's really not a name that I know. Anyway, team talk for the half time. We've got to do something about this, so we're going to go aggressive and we're going to say I know you lot are keen to avenge what happened in the last match we played against Inter. Go and make and express yourself. If you remember, in the first couple of games of the group stages, we lost to Inter Milan. So that's what that's referring back to. So we're going to use that as hopeful motivation, and we're going to send them out for the second half. Inter Milan get the opportunity to kick off. The rain is coming down at the Ajax arena. And we'll have to wait and see how we cope with that in the second half as the game progresses. You can see in terms of match stats, we're still fairly positive. We've got better possession, better shots at goal, better shots on target. And so ultimately, we're doing quite well. Can we just find that one opportunity to get a decent shot at goal and pick up another 3 points potentially? But there's an opportunity and it hits the post. Again, was that FM19 again? I think it might have been off the header. And he had a decent opportunity, but unfortunately the ball hit the post instead. But there's the corner kick, and the corner's disappointing. It goes to the far post, and there wasn't enough on the header coming back towards goal, and the goalkeeper claims it quite comfortably. It's nearly 70 minutes gone. We're going to see what our match conditioning is like for all of our players. Couple of yellow cards to concern ourselves with. Couple of slight low-rated performances from the likes of Van de Beek and Tagliafico specifically. Both our fullbacks are not doing particularly well, are they? And Van de Beek is not doing well. But we've got a couple of yellow cards. I'm going to risk the yellow cards, and I think I'm going to replace the low-rated players instead. So both fullbacks are coming off, and Van de Beek's coming off, and Elena will come on for him, and chuck them straight back out there, and hopefully for the last 15 minutes we can find an opening somehow. I think it's been an okay performance. I don't think we've had a magnificent game, but we're doing all right in terms of our match statistics. But, ultimately the only match statistic that really matters is the scoreline. And then we've got to sort of keep our fingers crossed and find out what PSG have done. I've deliberately kept them off screen, so we don't know. Here's an opportunity for Inter Milan. A fumble by the goalkeeper, but a good tackle from the defender at that point. A really bad fumble by Onana. And we were very lucky to get away with one. Ziyech on the free kick, but it's blocked. But he's going to pick up the loose ball quite wide on the left-hand side. Sweeping ball in, but again it's half cleared. FM19 picks it up on the right-hand side this time into De Ligt, and we keep the ball well. Frankie de Jong goes over the top, but the attacking player didn't read the pass, and in the end Inter Milan picked up an easy ball, and they've come back out on the counter-attack on us, and they sweep it wide right. And the cross comes in, but we get it cleared to Ziyech on the edge of the box, up to Dolberg, who pokes it out wide left again. But again, it's a poor pass, and Inter Milan come away with it again. And through on goal this time, and there's the sucker punch. It was really sloppy play, wasn't it? Really, from both sides for a while. We kept giving the ball back to each other, but in the end, we gave it away one too many times in that period of play. And you can see that Inter Milan then found a way out, put a long ball over the top. Our defence was suckered in higher up the pitch slightly, and so therefore the pace of Lautaro on the counter-attack over the top was too great, and he got onto the ball and ultimately put the ball into the back of the net. And it looks like we're going to go down to Inter Milan, and we're going to end our Champions League group stage with a little bit of a whimper if we're not careful. There we go. Well, I guess ultimately I could see it coming. Inter Milan were a really hard prospect in this game, in this group. They played very, very well. But I'm very disappointed. I think our performance deserved something out of the game, even if it wasn't enough to take us through. I would have still happily kind of taken a draw at least. So we're going to have to say that they're disappointing. I'm not happy with that performance. That will fire them up. We'll go out of this match day area and see what happened with PSG as well. We had a disappointing collapse. Yes, we did. And we're knocked out of the Champions League. There we go. It's official. Let's go. What happened with the group stages? Let's have a look. So, Group F. Where were we? So, yeah, PSG beat Schalke as well. So, we were always going to be hard-pressed to get past them. It was always going to be a fairly simple game for PSG against Schalke, you would imagine. What did they do? They won 2-0. So, yeah, comfortable for those two in the end. It was a really hard group, a really difficult challenge, and ultimately we came up short. So the simple reality, as I said at the beginning of this particular episode, is no, I cannot do it better than Ajax did in the Champions League of 2018-19. They got to the semi-finals in real terms, and I got knocked out of a very, very difficult group. So unfortunately, that's going to be the end of this series. And actually, if you're watching this around the time of release, is actually going to be my last 2019 Football Manager 2019 save and episode. That's me done for the 19 version of the game. FM20 still hasn't quite got a release date, but is due out in the next couple of weeks on the beta version. So I'll be putting out a beta save very soon. Keep an eye on my channel and my Twitter feed for news of that in the coming days. But yeah, disappointing end to a season that I enjoyed playing with Ajax. I thought they've got some really good players. I'd like to do a long-term save with them at some point in the future maybe, but not for a few seasons now. But yeah, disappointed, but I thought we were dealt a very hard group, and that's ultimately what did us in. So thanks very much for watching this series. I hope you've enjoyed bits of it. I hope you've enjoyed my 2019 content as much as I have producing it. This has been my first year producing Football Manager content for YouTube, so I've learned a lot. So bring on FM20 in the next few weeks, and we'll continue our journey together, I hope, at the United City FM. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this series, why not subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with the videos. If you enjoyed this episode, why not chuck a like on it for me? That will help me get seen by other people. If you're playing Football Manager yourself in the transition between 19 and 20, let me know how your saves are going in the comments below. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon for FM20. Bye for now.